the microphone. Hello, hello. Oh, there we go. All right. I see it moving. So we should be okay. Can you hear me now? Um, I hope so. It looks like you can hear me. And that would be great if you can. Seeing me is a different thing, but yeah. Hopefully you can hear me now, Kevin, and anybody else who's going to join us. And as I was saying, okay, good. As I was saying before, it seems like every time we want to talk about the DSA, we are slowed down in our viewership, and that's okay. I'm not going to, start to become paranoid. But I'm just going to keep on going. What has to happen? I mean, we're already 9 minutes in, and we have none of our regulars here except for you and I, Kevin. So this show is for us. Okay, so before I get started, I wanted to talk about there was another apparently attempt on the president's life. A man allegedly armed with a pistol was arrested after he was seen taking photos and videos of Trump National Golf Club in Los Angeles County over the weekend. And this is coming to us from ABC News. So apparently, they searched his home and they found writing that was not great, and suspicious writing, they're calling it. And they believe that it was an assassination attempt, or it was planned to be an assassination attempt. Trump just got off the plane in LA a few minutes ago. He's safe and sound. I'm sure we're going to hear more about this as the story unfolds. But for now, we are following the race in Michigan, where El Sayed is running a primary, and he seems to be in the lead, but he doesn't fare very well against Mike Rogers, who's also running on the Republican ticket for Congress. But it looks like El Sayed is going to win. And we're not surprised because in Democratic primaries, the most liberal wins almost every single time. So I thought that we'd like take a little bit of a dive into the Democrats or the DSA members because, you know, for me, socialism is like it's like living in your parents' house as a kid, right? As a rebellious teenager. You want your rights, but you don't have the responsibility to support your rights, but you demand them anyway. Um, and the people who want socialism, to me, remind me of these rebellious teenagers because they're out there talking about how things are not affordable for them and things are that they have to tax the rich to so they can have more, but they never ever stop to think about that if the government can provide you with health care and food and housing, the government can also take it away. And once you give total control to the government for your welfare and care, then you can't get it back. Once you give up your rights, you can't get them back, which is why we are all so protective of our rights. And um, the majority of people who want liberty and freedom do not want government to be too big. But the socialists don't feel that way. The socialists feel like they're kind of like they want a mother and father. That's what they're looking for. Very, very interesting. So, and they're not consistent either. They're liars. They're liars. They don't want. Oh, interesting. Oh, I wonder. Oh no, I wonder if. Huh. You know. I had a problem with Facebook, but you're not on Facebook. You're on you're on YouTube. So I wonder if this is the wrong video. Well, it doesn't matter. Here we are, and we're going to keep on going, even if it's just you and me, Kev. I mean, I, I could try to, yeah. No, I'm not even going to try. We're going to just keep on going. I wanted to talk a little bit about Mamdani, because Mamdani is opposed to voter ID. He said it's like Jim Crow laws. And he said that people shouldn't have to be required to show ID to vote. But Mamdani, back in the winter, when they were looking for people to shovel snow, they required ID in order for them to get paid. Watch.
This controversy over the snow laborers and the sort of what some see as onerous need to have documentation. Can you just talk about if that's new and what you make of the controversy?
This is all long-standing. This is a long-standing program and long-standing requirements, and this is a way that New Yorkers get paid to shovel snow in assistance with the city's response to a winter storm event. Federal law requires that employers get authorization and documentation to pay people for their work. We are not allowed to just cut checks to individuals for their work. And these are the policies that we've had in place.
So they want people to show ID because they said it's a federal regulation. Okay, got it. Well, now Mamdani is launching this grocery store program. It's kind of like a food stamp program where it's going to lower the cost of the items in the grocery store. But shoppers need their ID in order to shop there. Listen.
Are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that deal, basically? And is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, G Pack, to add some additional details.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing, and also we manage who's buying and that is focused on everyday New Yorkers. So we are mindful of that, and so we're going to make sure that we have all the things in place to ensure that that does not happen.
Okay, I'm going to share this. Just hang on for 1 second. I want to share this on my other Facebook page because it seems like on the Let's Talk News page, we cannot, it's not showing us live for whatever reason. So I'm going to share this now. But anyway, isn't it ironic that that Mamdani says that you have to show ID to buy groceries, but not to vote? And he says it with a straight face. Kevin says, how can anyone like this guy? It's the dimples, I think. It's that aw shucks kind of face. That is the problem. People like that. But, Mamdani is, he panders. He panders to people. He tries to be what... not unsuspecting, but non-threatening. He tries to be, the boy next door kind of thing. And he tries to be all things to all people. Here he is in a recent interview with, it's called The Root. It's a show that is geared towards Black New Yorkers. Here's Mamdani pandering to Black New Yorkers, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute.
I think also when we talk about the affordability agenda, when we talk about the cost of living crisis, every New Yorker experiences it,
Right.
but it is not evenly experienced.
Right.
And Black New Yorkers have borne the brunt of this crisis. For all of the conversation around fear of capital flight, there's a real flight that has happened. We've lost 200,000 Black New Yorkers from New York City over the last few decades alone. The population of Black children and teenagers down by 19% from 2010 to 2019. And that is a hollowing out of this city. So many of the most iconic Black neighborhoods now seem more iconic for the history than what the future could hold because of that fear of displacement. And to me, when you deliver on that agenda, you also deliver on the promise of Black history being something that can continue to be written in this city, not something just that we read about.
Are you saying that your economic agenda is you're hoping that it will address the Black flight, something that some people have called a Black exodus from this city? Is that what you're saying?
I think that it is a critical part of it.
Right.
And the reason it's a critical part of it is that the absence of that agenda has driven so many out of this city. And we are effectively seeing the reversal of the Great Migration.
Yes.
And it's not for a lack of love for this city. You'll find New Yorkers everywhere across the country. They're still New Yorkers. They'll tell you they're New Yorkers, but they haven't been able to afford New York.
Right.
And even the people you meet in New York City, sometimes when you ask them, where do you live? Pennsylvania, Connecticut, right. Jersey City. They just can't afford life here.
So he's saying that Black people are disproportionately being pushed out of New York. Well, you know, that's code for the people who are on public assistance. That's what he's trying to get at. Or people who are living in Harlem, or people who are living in Brownsville, people who are living in Black neighborhoods. But he fails to mention that it is the property tax that is causing the rise in property tax that is causing not just Black New Yorkers, but any low-income New Yorkers to leave and go to New Jersey and go to other areas that are more affordable, because they can't afford, especially if their home is paid off, if it was handed down, they can't afford the taxes. I mean, right now, the home that I left in New York, it had a 10% increase in taxes. So $2,000 almost more in taxes being charged for that house. The price went up enormously. I mean, we sold it was worth $1 million. Now it's worth 1.3 million. That's only a couple of years later, and that's in in a buyer's market, because with interest rates the way they are, it's hard to find a buyer. You can negotiate, buyers can, but the taxes went up 10%. So it's kind of interesting. I should stress I did get 30 minutes notice from YouTube. About this. Well, apparently Facebook is lagging, and something's going wrong. I mean, it's probably user error. It usually is. I probably did something wrong. I've had some issues, and it's never any fun when there's not a lot of people chatting, but I do appreciate that you're here, and hopefully people will watch this in the playback. I doubt it, but that's okay. I'm still going to put it out there, Kev, because you and I, we know the score, and if it's there, even if they stop the algorithm, it doesn't matter. All right, so this is Syed. He had an interview, and he is talking about how he's not a Democrat socialist. Watch.
Is there any group of people, any organization that's sort of a red line for you that says, no, you're not part of this, or that view is not part of the Democratic Party I'm hoping to sustain here in Michigan?
We're trying to define a viewpoint that's built on money out of politics, money in your pocket, Medicare for all. If you agree with those things, come join us. We're for civil liberties. We're for equal rights. We love and appreciate all people. And I want to build this movement, bringing people together around the things we need and deserve that we can have together if we fight for them.
Is the DSA part of the Democratic Party in Michigan?
I'm not DSA.
I know you're not.
But if folks from the DSA want to be part of the Democratic Party, I would imagine that anybody would want them there, right? Because you want voters. Like this idea that somehow we are going to win elections by pushing people out seems to me to be inconsistent with the way that democracy works. You want a coalition of all people. You know who else are going to be part of my coalition? 3-time Trump voters who want health care, who want to keep our money here at home.
And they're out there, yeah.
They're out there. I meet them at almost every event I go to. So we're building a big, broad coalition, truly a big tent of people that combines folks from DSA on one side, even if I'm not a socialist, and combines 3-time Trump voters, even if I've never voted for Donald Trump.
Are you concerned about being labeled a socialist?
I think that folks who come here, like with 2 weeks left in the election, really, really want to label me a socialist. I don't know why, except for maybe it fits into a nice telling of a broader national story. But I'm a scientist, right? And I like solutions that solve problems. That's the approach that I've always taken. I don't do ideology. I'd rather think of myself as a capitalist who actually read about capitalism, in the sense that the biggest risk to capitalism was always going to be corporate consolidation and monopoly rather than government regulation. In fact, you need some government regulation to make sure that capitalism runs well. I want to make sure that our capitalism is functional rather than allowing big corporations to buy politicians to rig the system against us.
You are not a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. They did not endorse you, but we know that there are DSA members out there in this state right now campaigning on your behalf, handing out literature for you.
It's a big time, my friend.
And any concern, though, that they may be misrepresenting you?
No,
and
look,
casting you as one of them when you say you're not.
You know, it's funny, right? Democrats are so concerned about what other people say about us. And I think we just need to be more concerned about what we say about the lives of Michiganders. I want to get money out of politics, put money in your pocket, pass Medicare for all. If you want to be part of that movement, whether you voted for Donald Trump 3 times or you are DSA, come join us.
So he thinks he's appealing to Trump voters, which is very interesting. I don't know one Trump voter that would believe that health care for all is a good idea, because they know it's a bait and switch game, because we have health care for all. It's called Obamacare. So Obamacare was passed, and it was passed as Medicaid for all or whatever, but still we're having problems with the healthcare industry. Why? You know, that's what I don't understand. How do they keep on pushing this whole healthcare for all crap when Obamacare was passed and supposedly everybody has healthcare? Because it's not working. Because it never was working. Because it was never about people getting healthcare. It was about insurance companies making more money. We are joined by Maisie on YouTube. Facebook is totally down. Don't know what's going on with Rumble. And it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to play this clip. This is the DSA in a snapshot. I want you to listen to it, and then we're going to go through some things.
The Democratic Socialists of America are very excited about their early wins in Democratic House primaries. So I came to the DSA's summit in Chicago to get a sense of their goals and hopes and aspirations and debates. They are feeling a lot of momentum right now. There's a sense that voters are fed up with the mainstream Democratic Party and are starting to embrace socialism more and more. So here's some of the tables, like different merch. Some parts of the DSA's new platform are things that many Americans may agree on. Things like free childcare and health care for all, helping the working class. These are Democratic priorities as well. Others may feel outside the mainstream of politics. Items like abolishing the Senate, which they don't feel is a fair and representative institution.
If you want to radically transform the economy into something where you can actually afford to live, then we're going to have to get rid of some of these anti-democratic barriers that our Constitution has set up. The Senate is one of them.
And taking steps toward abolishing police and prisons.
Mass incarceration is a crime against humanity. We think that should be quite radically changed.
The DSA is also advocating for a state of Palestine that includes Jerusalem as its capital. One of the co-chairs of the national DSA movement enthusiastically affirmed all of these positions that DSA has.
Abolish ICE. Absolutely. Defund the Pentagon. Absolutely.
There are many establishment Democrats who are terrified that voters are going to be turned off by some of the ideas that DSA has endorsed. They're worried that all Democrats potentially could be painted with a socialist label, an extreme far left label that will cause Republicans to win in November in the midterms. But there's a pretty strong sense from people here that they shouldn't back down and that eventually those ideas will be broadly popular with a full electorate.
So there's a little snapshot of DSA. I don't know about you, though. This is a group that says that, they can't afford to eat and they can't afford housing and they can't afford healthcare. They all looked a little doughy to me. None of them looked like they were, skin over bones. And all of them looked a little bit weird. Just a little. They look like the kids at the lunch table that just don't fit in. And that's the scary part about it. But I don't want to pick on them personally. I do want to show you some statistics, and I'm going to hide comments. Not that there's a lot. So Maisie and Kevin, just give me a second while I pull these up. All right, let's take a look at jobs, because they say they're for the workers, right? DSA, they're for the workers. Well, this is now from the DSA North Star member survey. So this is the majority of the people, this is the jobs that these people work in. Teacher, scholar, academic, white collar, tech worker, not-for-profit organization, public sector, federal, state, or local, so government jobs, retail, food, or other service, healthcare or social worker, self-employed, only 5%, blue collar, 4%, writer, performer, arts, 4%, political organization, union, 4%, unemployed, disabled, retired, 15%. That's your number one, your highest percentage, and students, 8%. So in 2018, 31% of respondents over 24 years of age and not retired belonged to unions. In 2017, that had declined to 20%. And in 2021, 21% of members over 24 and not retired are current members of unions. The occupation in which all respondents, including those under 25, were most likely to be unionized were, get this, school teachers, 60%, political organizations, 51%, and the public sector, federal, 47%. Of all respondents, 3% are current union leaders and 2 are former leaders. So in other words, these are people inside our government. They're working inside our government, or they are professors. They're teaching our children, or they're teaching our young adults. And those are the union workers. So these are people who are highly educated. And oh, by the way, these are not people that make hourly wages, really. These are people who make salaries because they're educated. Let's see, I think, did I have, just so that you know, that 80% of DSA members have college, and of that 80%, 40% have master's degrees. Okay, so just so that you know. So by age, right? Here is the demographic by age. So 13% are Zoomers. That's Generation Z. 60% are millennials. So we knew we had a problem with millennials long ago, entitled. 12% are X, 12% are boomers, and 3% are the silent generation. So that's interesting. So millennials, turn of the century, after Obama, these are the ones that have joined the socialist movement. Ethnicity. Here's your ethnic breakdown for the DSA in 2021. 85% white. In 1991, it was 92%. Hispanic 9%, Asian 5%, Black 4%, Middle Eastern 2%, Native American 2%, multi-ethnic 9%, and no answer 3%. So interesting that people of color are limited, and if you go through this, I just closed it, unfortunately. If you go for this North Star survey, it tells you some more. A lot of women in the DSA. Oh, okay. Maisie's saying it took 20 minutes to get to my live feed. All right, well, something's amiss. And as I said, every time I talk about socialism, the feed goes down. That's number one. But you know what? I mean, user error and operator error probably. I don't do great with for some reason with the StreamYard stuff. I'm gonna have to find another situation because our algorithm is in the toilet, as we can see. But at any rate, it's here and you can share it, and maybe others can see it. I'll share it again. Yeah, I don't know why. It is on my Facebook, my main page of Facebook, but it's not going on anywhere else. So yeah, somehow or another, I screwed up again. And unfortunately, it's always the really good information shows. I think that this is good information because at the end of the day, they're lying. They're children who are lying to get you to do what they want you to do, which is they're pretending that they're out there fighting for the regular guy, and that's not true. They're highly educated. They are government workers. This should really concern us that the people inside our government, city, state, and federal, are making and political organizers are working so hard to socialize America. And anybody who thinks that socialism sounds good, I want you to think back to when you were a teenager, living in your mother's house, if you're not still, and recognize that, if you're going to depend on the government for everything, then the government can take everything away without your consent. It's just that the way it is. Your mom and dad may, kowtow to you, but once you give your power away, you will never get it back. And listen, believe me when I tell you, I know what goes on inside government. I know what the Democrats think about people. Remember, I worked in city government in New York City, and they say people are stupid all the time. That's their belief. And maybe they're right. All right. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Maisie, for finding me and keeping me company tonight. Hopefully, you can share the link to the show, and maybe others could see it. We will be back tomorrow, and hopefully I will get this right and figure out why YouTube and Facebook has decided to hold me up. So, all right, love you all. See you tomorrow.